What a weekend we've had. It's been a weekend of revelation, would be a good word, of learning, of information. It's been a conversation that has offered clarity on issues and subjects that, quite frankly, certainly from a personal standpoint, before this weekend were vague and completely opaque. I think we are now better equipped to ignite conversation among the authorities, importantly among our children and our children's friends and our children's friends' parents, and so we must start the chain. We are deeply grateful to our experts who have shared their time with us and their expertise. We were moved and inspired all weekend by people like Dr. Anna Layden. Thank you so much, Dr. Layden. Dr. Donald Hilton. To Dr. Sharon Cooper, who joined us by Skype, not once but twice. To Dawn Hawkins, thank you so much, Dawn. To the youth and energy of Clay Olson. And to Sunny Slaughter, who moved us to tears yesterday. I'm not leaving anyone out. I've left our Caribbean contributors into one category. And I'll tell you why I'm doing that. Because we have a tendency here in the Caribbean to heap comprehensive disdain on our professionals. And I'll tell you what, our Caribbean people did us so proud this weekend. So Dr. Diane Douglas, I have put her on notice that I need for her to come and speak to people in my sphere. You know, we are accused, people in sport, of having the IQ that's about the size of room temperature. She's going to elevate that. Dr. Anna Perkins, thank you so much. Dr. Saran Luby, thank you so much for... And we admire the courage and the bravery of Corporals Walker and Duncan. You know, I belong to the community of Cascades and Dans. I live right around the corner on Coblenz Avenue. And from time to time we have community meetings and we invite the police, and they now run from us because police facing a crowd of residents is never an easy thing. So thank you, Corporals Walker and Duncan. And of course, two young men who've emerged from the dark and devious. Jerome and Jonas, thank you so much. Your contributions were mighty, absolutely mighty. And of course, this life-altering experience, we must thank the Family Life Commission, Tricia Sims and her team. So I have done his work for him. I'm just leaving the thank yous to the team that executed the weekend, to the sponsors, and to you, the audience, to Bishop Llanos. From a personal standpoint, let me just say thanks to Shamian for making a brave decision to have somebody like me MC this thing, because because I'm completely outside of my comfort zone. But I thoroughly enjoyed it and I learned so much. So thank you for putting up with me. Thank you so much. Bishop Llanos.
Well, asking Mr. Harford to come and be MC for the weekend was not the only brave thing that Charmian did. To prepare a weekend like this, you can imagine, took a lot, a whole lot. And this weekend was being prepared for about the last year and a half or more. It took a lot to get these great speakers to come here this one weekend. As you know, they're all very busy and very much in demand all over the world. So it takes a lot of work, a lot of patience, a lot of determination to organize a weekend like this and to make this happen. And so I really would like the team, therefore, from the Family Life Commission and the Jubilee Ministries to just stand up there. Most of them are sitting around this table. Let people see you and applaud you for all your work. Notice they're, generally speaking, of a younger age than most of us here, so, which is good because it means that this is the generation, these are the energetic individuals who are going to make happen what needs to happen. Amen? Yeah. Okay. So I want to thank them personally for their many, many hours, sleepless nights, and associated things that go into making this possible, and their professionalism in undertaking this project. I also would like to thank the main sponsors, the key sponsors, which I think I mentioned in my opening address. I think I did, can't remember, but which are the Massey Foundation, the U.S. Conference of Bishops, One Caribbean Media, and who? Caribbean Print Technology. Those are the four main ones, yes. Okay, who made a lot of sacrifices and helped us considerably in making this possible when we were turned down, not surprisingly, by many other organizations that we approached that we thought would have jumped to the opportunity at something like this. But you know, the world we live in. So we want to really, as we say in Trinidad, big up those four organizations. Yeah. That were brave and bold enough to support us in this venture. Well, I'm not going to repeat the thank you to all the speakers. You really, you know, Mr. Harford already called them name by name, and I am deeply, deeply grateful to you all for your lives, far less your coming here to share what you have shared with us. Thank you for your lives and all that you do everywhere. So I am left to say to you a few words that I hope will allow you to walk out of here with some kind of conviction greater than you already have. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to do that, but I'll just say what comes to my mind. The first thing is, it's important for us, although many of us here are Catholics that have come out of systems in the schools in Trinidad and Tobago. I want to make this very clear. This is not a Catholic issue. This is an issue for humanity. Okay? And it must be understood that although the two organizations that have come forward to present this weekend are Catholic organizations, from the very onset we understood that what we are doing here is something that is put at the service of the whole nation, everyone, the whole region, and the whole world. What we do here is offered to everyone because everyone is affected. You with me? Yeah. And so I would like you all, when you leave here, to take with you that same attitude and approach. This is not something for a particular group of people to do or a particular group of people to respond to. It's for everyone. It's what we do, if you may allow me to say this as a Catholic bishop, it is what we do in the Catholic Church. What we do at the service of every single human being. Okay? So let's understand that from the onset. This is not something for a sector of society or some group, particular group in the community. This is what's it say there? A national conversation. Protecting children, all children, doesn't say any particular children, all children from the harmful effects of pornography. So whatever religion you may be or no religion at all, what we're being asked here this weekend is to lay down our lives for the sake of all children. Amen? Let that be your motivation. That you and I, as adults in the world today, have a responsibility for which we will be held accountable in the future of our lives, one way or the other, if we don't defend and save and help redeem the next generation of children from the effects of pornography, which we have seen. You have seen for the whole weekend. You have seen the vast, maybe I'm using correct phrase, you have seen how far the effects can be in the society and in the world if we don't deal with this now. You've seen between these workshops and the ones in the Scarlet Ibis room, we have seen today and yesterday how destructive this thing is. And I am praying and hoping that this weekend doesn't allow us to walk out of here as if we receive something we will put away and knowledge we will keep in our minds and in our hearts and do nothing about it. I will be horrified if any of you leave here this weekend, this evening, and walk out of these rooms, walk out of this Hilton Hotel, and not be convicted in your heart and in your soul that in whatever way you can, you have something to do. If you leave here without that awareness, then I have failed. I have failed you. We have failed you. That you cannot leave here this weekend without the understanding that I have something to do, an action, whatever it is. Now we have committed ourselves, the Family Life Commission and Jubilee, to helping you again to recognize this is not an event that was meant to be a one-off occasion. This actually, we had planned a year and a half ago to be the beginning of something. You with me, everyone? Yeah. It's the beginning of something, or a follow-through to what went before, but it is to launch us forward into a whole lot of activity that will, we hope in the end, go a long way in freeing our nation, our region, and the world, like all our counterparts everywhere else in the world, freeing the world from the very destructive effects of pornography and sex trafficking and all that's associated with it. Because believe you me, if we don't act now, the destruction that will follow, and you heard from those who themselves are struggling with pornography, how many levels of destruction there are. You saw in the documentaries how many levels of destruction there are. That if we leave this alone, no one of us in this room will be able to say to ourselves, I think within the next 5 years, certainly within 10 years, that it has not affected me in any way. You understand what I'm saying? There will be no one in this room that will 10 years from now be able to say, I have not been directly affected by pornography. I mean, you heard what I said? Directly affected by pornography. Whether it's with your children or your grandchildren or your neighbor, somebody or your school children, or your teacher, or somebody, because it's already there, as you have already heard throughout the weekend. It's already here, disseminating everywhere. It's a silent killer of humanity. And the consequences, I don't know about all of you, but certainly from where I stand, what I see, my vision going down the road to the future is a horrific one. If we don't bring this situation to a stop, or at least slow it down considerably, bring it to an end. The consequences down the road, my dear brothers and sisters, are scary, very scary, very frightening for the whole society. I cannot understate this for you. So I want you to understand that what we're doing here this weekend is the beginning. We have planned going forward a number of projects, a number of things that we want to see happen, and about which we'll be calling on everybody who's willing to say yes to go into action. Okay, so don't think it ends here. This is the beginning. I want to repeat this. This is the beginning. We have already, in our planning before this weekend, scheduled a number of projects for schools, for churches, for media, for all sorts of things. We have not said that to you before because we wanted you to experience this weekend and get the information you needed to get. Now that you have it, now that you have a strong sense of what we are talking about, what we are dealing with, now we will, in the days and weeks and months to come, we will be laying out there for you where we want to go with this. And I want to urge you, please, when we call out to you, please step forward. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Step forward. And why I'm saying this to you, and why you might be saying, why is he rambling on like this evening? Is because of the experience we had trying to get you to come here in the first place. The Trinidadians will know what I'm talking about. The resistance that we experience in so many places among people who should have, and I'm saying it openly, I said it in my television interview, by the way, on CNC3. The peoples, all the groups and organizations who we invited and asked to come to this because we knew they were key players in the response to this. And they turned a blind eye, resisted, ignored, just simply took no notice. Rejected outright organizations that for you Trinidadians, it will blow your, as we say, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. The groups and the persons that we invited and begged to come here to benefit from this thing. And they saw no urgency, felt no commitment in any way. So I know, wherefore, when we finish today, and you finish today, and you go out there, don't expect a joyful welcome to what you're going to be telling people or inviting people to. You with me? Yeah. Therefore, understand that you're not alone, however, because as I said, we have things in place. We've prepared for this. So that as of this evening, this weekend, you will be alerted. When you see it, please open your mouth, open your heart, open your mind, and get others involved as much as possible so that our next stage of intervention will be as successful as this weekend has been. You with me, everyone? Yeah. I needed to say that to you. There's some advertisement or something that says we're not alone. What was it? Was it something to do with this weekend? Yes. We're not alone. We are not alone. We all have each other now. Everybody here, we have each other going forward. So let us make that true in all of our efforts. And be patient. It will all happen. Okay? And once again, thank you all for coming, even if some of you came by force. But thank you for coming. Because though you came by force, I know you opened your mind and heart readily since yesterday, and you participated fully. And I thank God for you and for that. So, my dear brothers and sisters, as we end our weekend, let us leave here with hearts and minds convicted you and I, all of us, have a part to play in saving the children of the future. Amen. Thank you very much. Have a blessed evening. And for those of you traveling away, have a safe and joyful flight. Thank you. Oh, hold on a minute. I forgot to thank Mr. Harford of all people. Thank you so much, Mr. Harford, for your wonderful emceeing for the weekend.